Hey folks, welcome to another Coach Mo Live, and I am delighted to have one of my awesome clients here with me today, Maria. Hello there. We are gonna
Hello.
we're gonna dive into Maria's story, and before we do, please, ladies and or gents, if you're listening, please know that when you bring your soul back to life, you can have the life and the dream career that you are longing for. And this is Coach Mo. I'm the founder and creator of the 12-week transformational workshop that Maria and 1,300 and some other women have taken that journey. She met several of them as she was going through the journey herself. Maria, again, welcome, welcome, welcome. I just cannot wait for you to tell your story. It's one for the ages for sure. Tell us a little bit about you, and then just kind of go into where you were before we met. And welcome
Sure,
again.
sure. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure. It's good to be able to see you again
yeah,
since
likewise.
since I've graduated the program. Um, so I am a mom of two. I'm an executive woman. I work in production and manufacturing now, and I've done a multitude of other things.
Right.
I did the whole. I have a master's degree and came from a long line of blue collar work and then transitioned into white collar as I got a little bit older, which
Mm-hmm.
is great, very unique for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But about a year ago, I found myself at this place of just complete and utter burnout. My career had stalled.
Yeah.
It wasn't in a bad place, but I knew there was more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think the worst part of it was if there was more, I didn't know that I necessarily wanted any part of it
Yeah.
because I'd sacrificed so much,
Yeah. Yeah.
that
More seemed like
I
so
didn't.
much hard work on top
Oh
of
my
yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted. And I
Yeah.
mean, to the point that, I've been pregnant and, I, pregnancy felt easy compared to what that exhaustion and burnout felt like.
Yeah.
And my husband had noticed a difference, but more than anything, when I went to work, I didn't feel like I was able to show up as Maria. I
Mm-hmm.
had to show up as this version of someone that I hate to say it, it was dishonoring who I was and it
Mm.
dishonored my soul.
Oh,
And
that feels crappy.
it
Yeah.
does. And you get to that place where you go, something has to change.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more than just me that has to change. I need a reset, and I need someone to help kick my backside back to where I need to
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so along came Mo Fall.
Some type of ad, Facebook, YouTube ad,
Yes.
found its way into your feed. And you had already made a decision, I think, by the time, well, at least by the time we
Yes.
first spoke. What happened?
Yes. So I made the decision to do something that some people would call crazy. I quit my job without having a second job lined up
Yeah.
because I knew that I needed to work on Maria first,
Hmm.
and then the job would come. And, a lot of people I'm sure listening to this think, okay, I'm done listening to this crazy woman. You've got to be kidding me. But there's a lot more people doing that these days
Yeah,
than what you would imagine
absolutely.
because, mental health is important. Let's just
Yeah,
go ahead and have that conversation.
absolutely.
But
Yeah,
we, the days of working yourself to a place that you don't recognize who you see in the mirror
yeah,
anymore,
yeah,
we need to let those days be over
absolutely.
as women, as a
Hmm.
society.
Hmm.
Like it should not be acceptable.
Right.
And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I played a part in it too.
Hmm.
There are things that I allowed to happen. um it's not like a former employer was wrong or anything like that.
Right.
It's just sometimes life happens
Right.
and you make small choices and small choices here about how you think, about how you act, that lead to larger
That's right.
consequences. And you get down the road and you recognize that I've done a lot of great things, I've done a lot of good things, But if I want to get to that next level of excellence, I'm not going to get there doing the same things that I've always done.
No, no. And you mentioned sort of like buying into this, this social norm, which is
Mhm.
work your ass off,
Yeah.
have no time for anything else, and someday it'll happen. Like
Right.
that's sort of like the de facto marching orders in
Right. And
in the
the
world, right?
reward at the end of the work
Right.
is
Right.
more work and more
Right.
exhaustion.
And if we can afford it, we'll pay you some more money. And so
Right.
this is one track of reality in careers. This is one track,
Mhm. Right.
right? One option.
That
And you
needs to
got to
go
a
the way
point,
of the
yeah,
dodo board.
exactly. No one should be on that track. And if anyone who's a
No.
boss is listening to this right now, like listen into what your team is going through and what they're saying. So you basically felt you couldn't do anything about your current circumstance at the time, and you said, "No, I'm out."
I'm done. Hmm. Exactly. So gave a resignation,
Hmm.
did everything professionally. It wasn't some ugly parting of the ways, but it was a decision of, okay, it's time for me to move on with my next phase.
Yeah.
And I felt good about that too, because there were people that were trained and were ready, and that created promotion paths for
You
them.
developed your team.
So exactly, that's what leaders are supposed to do. If you
Mhm.
want to know how good of a leader you are, how many people are following you?
Right.
That was free, no charge, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Um,
Listen in.
so, um, but I you came up on my Facebook feed,
Uh-huh.
and I'm not a Facebook, devotee. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, I split my time evenly, I think, between Facebook, Twitter, and I spent a lot of time on LinkedIn. I feel like there's a lot of content there that, is helpful for your career.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you popped up on my Facebook, and then I think Facebook and LinkedIn like listen to each other. And then all of a sudden you pop up on my LinkedIn, Alexa is going, "Hey, you need to talk to this lady."
Right.
And you kept talking about this book your career clarity call, book your career clarity call. And I remember thinking, like, do I really want to talk to somebody? Or like, I know I need some help, but is this the right help I need?
Mm-hmm.
And so I talked to you,
You
and
did?
I talked to two other people, and nobody seemed to get it the way you got it.
Mm-hmm.
And that career clarity call, I felt like, was just one for the ages. At least for me, it was.
Yeah, no, I remember it distinctly. And I'm thinking, okay, smart woman, ambitious, seems to have her act together. She quit without a plan. Okay. She was really beside herself.
Yes.
Right? Because that's the only conclusion one can come to. She seems like she has her act together. She must have really been in a difficult scenario. And in order for you to get where you wanted to go, I knew, I don't think you knew at the time, but I knew the work that had to be done on the inside of Maria in order to get there.
Ooh, I knew there was work that needed to happen, but I thought it was all this, like there was some extra outside of Maria stuff that needed to happen.
Some strategies, some like,
Right.
Yeah.
Clean this up, think about this differently.
Right.
Yeah, no. The biggest amount of work that needed to happen was right here, was in Maria.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what I realized, I think, on that clarity call is, here I am talking to somebody who is extremely passionate about wanting to see other women succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was going through was something that, hey, I've seen this before, Maria.
Yep.
And there's a really great light after this. We just got to get you there, but you have to be willing to do the work. And, and I'm sure people listening to this are going, "Oh my God, not another like crazy psychobabble." No. You have to understand you're in the situation that you are in because of choices that either you have made, that other people have made. It's a combination and culmination of events that have gotten you to where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And something has to change to get you to a different place.
Right.
And the easiest thing to change, and yet the hardest thing to change, is yourself.
And it's easy, especially when you're burnt out to the level that you were burnt out, to sort of like blame the boss, blame the
Hmm.
culture. And like you said, yep, that's part of it. But here you are contributing it by staying there. I mean, let's just face it, as long
Right.
as we stay in a job, we're continuing the thing going. And having decided to quit, you were basically putting yourself in a situation of getting a job from that version of Maria,
Right.
not what you
Right.
wanted to do, because that would have either been
Mhm.
equal or less.
Right.
So
Right.
here comes Maria into a powerful decision of, okay, coach, I'm going to hire you and your team. Let's get to work.
Mhm.
What were some of the first things that you sort of found out, or were light bulb moments for you as we began to do our work together?
So there are two moments that just like stick out to me.
Okay.
One was in the first week. And, we're having some of these conversations about the soul and who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And I remember being on one of our group calls, and I had to go off camera because I was in tears.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because, number one, I was in a community and a safe space to be in that place mentally.
Yeah.
Don't try and go that alone. It's a tough road.
Yeah.
You need to have people that are there, that have been through it, that can walk you through it, that it's safe. Let's just start there.
Mm-hmm.
But what was really this aha moment was, okay, Marie, here's all the things that you've sacrificed, and the juice wasn't worth the squeeze,
Mm-hmm.
because you left some of who you were behind with each of those decisions, each of those minor compromises.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about, ethical or horrible choices.
Right.
I'm talking about those moments where I'm going to relate to somebody's about to like turn up the volume because of what they're going to say, where you diminish yourself to make somebody else feel more comfortable.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Or those moments where you shrink yourself into a box or into a corner because you've been told you take up too much space.
Ooh, yeah.
Those compromises,
Yeah.
they take a piece of you with them every
Yeah.
time you make them.
Right. And Maria, can I add to that? Can I add something to that equation? Because
Of course.
I know that this is part of what we worked on, and I since you went there, I'm sure you're going to appreciate, and I know that this is not what you're doing now. The compensation of you feeling that way once you've backed yourself off is to overwork and do for other people more than you should, which leads to
Yes.
the overworking and not feeling satisfied. You keep putting yourself out there to compensate. Well, maybe you'll like me if I do it this way. Maybe you'll appreciate me if I do it this way. Maybe I'll look promotable if I do it this way. And at the same
Right.
time, you're shrinking and overworking, shrinking and overworking.
Yes.
That doesn't last for
And it
too
is
long.
no, it's an unsustainable cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And not only is it unsustainable, it's really unsustainable for the employer too.
Oh, agree.
Because there's only so many excuses you can give a great employee before you're exhausted trying to find the excuse and the employee's exhausted hearing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I remember something about how many people they hired after you quit to replace you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I also distinctly remember getting into the work of your career niche, because you are very nichey in what you
Yes.
do and the field that you play in. And I was thinking this will be fine. We'll be able to find a place. But lo and behold, you start getting real clear on who you are.
Yes.
Another light bulb goes off.
About 2 weeks after I got real clear on who I was and what I wanted, I mean, I remember coming on another one of our group calls and going, y'all, I just applied for this job and had my first interview. And like, I feel like this is a unicorn role. And hi, I'm the unicorn you've been looking for. I really felt that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it was the first time in years that I had been so excited. And it wasn't just excited about a company or a culture, which soft spot in my heart for my
Yep.
current employer. Okay.
Right. Right.
They are
Absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah.
But I was excited about a role. I was excited about what they wanted me to do.
Mhm.
And I went and looked at the notes I had made for myself after our clarity call saying these are the things that I want.
Yeah.
And I'm like checking off boxes of what I was looking for. And there was no box unchecked.
Yeah.
And it
Exciting.
was, and I know you read the book, what if it is all for you? And you're like,
Yeah.
what if it is all for me? And you
Hmm.
have to suspend your disbelief because I
Yeah.
know there are people listening going, yeah, this can't be real. That no, it's
Right.
real.
Yeah.
There's 1,300 of us that will tell
Yeah.
you, oh yeah, it's real. It's real.
Exactly. Exactly. And then, of course, the fun business of talking about yourself in a powerful way. And this was
Yes.
all things being equal and up level for you. And
Hmm.
finally feeling like you were playing at the level that you wanted to contribute at.
Yes. Yes.
Contributing to a company that you knew you could make a difference based on the role that they were looking for.
Hmm. Being able, it's up leveling the career. It's up leveling the person because the Maria who shows up at the role that I have now, she is empowered.
Hmm.
Her soul is honored because she refuses to not let it be honored.
Hmm.
She is in a much more powerful place.
Hmm.
She's in a much better place to say, you know what? Hey, I screwed something up.
Hmm.
I made a mistake.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oops.
Hmm.
You know, because those are going to happen.
Yeah.
If someone tries to tell you that they're not going to, yeah, good luck. Glad to know somebody else is
It's
perfect
still a
because this
human,
chick is not.
right? It's still a human game. Yep. Right. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you're free to own those mistakes and you're free to move forward from them. The Maria before could.
right, if I can remember something, I think you were probably in your first month. You were still in the workshop with us.
Mhm.
And I think you pointed out a mistake that the company made on something.
Yeah.
And you were sort of like, oh crap, I don't know if I should mention this or not. I
Yeah.
don't want to be that person so early
That
in my
girl.
career on this. And uh, you navigated like a total champ because you were in your alignment. And
Hmm.
in my recollection of it, your boss at the time, maybe he's still your boss, was like, "Oh my God, thank you."
Hmm. Yep. And it was freedom. It
Mm-hmm.
was freedom for me to speak privately and say, hey, here's what I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
and freedom for things to be addressed. And there's no bad guy, there's no wrong situation. We
Right.
just address
Yeah.
the issue
Yeah.
and we move forward.
Yeah.
And just walking in that confidence,
Mm-hmm.
because I've always been a confident person. People who know me are going to be like, yeah, she's had it since she was two. But there's a difference between knowing that you're confident and actually feeling that
Right.
and not having to do anything to psych yourself up.
Right.
You're there.
Right. How about feeling received? Because I know that in working with lots of women like you, big personality, big ambition, want to do a lot, bring a lot to the table. Like it's pretty much a lifelong journey of people telling you to
Mm-hmm.
calm down and play smaller and stop being all of that. We can't handle all that.
Yeah.
And now here you are in a role with a company that needs you to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And am I correct in saying that you got a promotion pretty early in your tenure in that organization?
I did. I did. What ended up happening is they came back and said, um, we want to put you in a different. You need a bigger title. We want to be able to expand you. It did come with some increase, and the blessing of that is being able to say, you know, I I got to where I needed to be,
Yeah.
not because I did anything miraculous. I mean, there's work to,
Right.
it's a job, everybody has a job, you have work to do.
Right.
But it wasn't that I was having to do these strategic things. I showed up, I was myself.
Mm-hmm.
My work was able to speak for myself. And it's not this overwork where I'm 80, 90 hours in and I'm exhausted. No, my home life is honored. And there's real work-life balance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people hear the words work and life and they miss the word balance.
Right. Well, here's the thing. When you begin to honor who you are at the soul level, you start speaking differently. You stop trying to fill in the void or the gap of other people as you're navigating the world. And again, being the version of you that you are, being shut down for so long. And I'm saying this with a little bit of a choke in my throat because this is also what happened to me in my journey in my life. So many powerful women are told not to be that way. And here you are in your alignment, being able to channel what you bring to the table, and it's being received, appreciated, recognized, and thank you very much. We want you to have a bigger impact across the table because we love who you are and how you're showing up. And I want to make a really strong statement about this. It comes from being in full alignment with the beauty of all that you are, and not like you had done before, which again, like so many women, a piece of me, because I can't throw it all out there. A piece of me, because I can't be all of that because you told me not to. Now here you are, loving who you are, honoring who you are, and that's what you see out in the world. It's one of the universal laws. This is how it goes. When we play small and protect ourselves, we're going to get people who treat us poorly because we're treating ourselves poorly.
Yes.
So your results, not only do they speak for themselves, but they speak for the inner alignment that you have claimed for your life, who you are, what you're worthy of, what you want. And I think some of your family members also received higher and better as you were doing that for you. Something magical happened in your family.
My husband got a 24% increase and a promotion. So, and it really came from us having some very real conversations as a direct result of the coaching. Because he is wired very similarly to the way I am, big personality. He's a little more extroverted than I am, but still big personalities. I think people who know both of us will laugh that I just described my husband as slightly introverted, but but no, it was giving myself permission to show up authentically. And authenticity is also showing up with your faults and being very real with, here's what I do really well. Here's some areas that I still struggle in, and I will struggle till the day I die. And that's okay. As long as I recognize that here's what that means. Here's how I need someone to check me before I wreck myself sometimes, and having that real conversation with him enabled him to level up and show up more authentically and be very real and open and honest. Not that we weren't open and honest to begin with, but how many people really feel free to do that at work?
Right. Hopefully it's more and more as the days go on, but hopefully also you're being a great example for your colleagues, your team, perhaps even the bosses above you, kind of like seeing this woman totally being aligned, being powerful, making decisions, be able to move the needle and move things forward. I mean, look, we all know that that's not how women are raised in the standard issue of girls and women being raised. And so here's this more powerful version of Maria stepping into that new next chapter, feeling happy about who she is, being able to be a better mom because of that. Not saying you were a bad mom before, but when you love yourself, you're going to treat your kids differently.
Yes.
And I'm sure that you've noticed it. I don't know if they would be able to say that, but I'm sure that you have noticed that. Maybe they
They
have noticed
get
it.
what they've noticed is that they get more time and more authentic mom time
Uh-huh.
because mom isn't on the phone jumping from one crisis to the next at all hours of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Mom is able to shut off work and go full mom mode. And that's some deep level engagement and presence
Yeah.
that I would never have been able to do before
Yeah.
because I was still on the hamster wheel spinning
Yeah.
and doing what Einstein said, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting,
Expecting different
a
results.
different result.
Yeah.
Um, so
How's
yeah,
that not working? So your kids, your daughters are getting the best of you. Your new
yes.
employer is getting the best of you. Your husband's
Mhm.
getting the best of you.
Yes.
What else is
And I get the
possible
best
now?
of me.
Yeah, right. What else is possible now for Maria and her family and her legacy? I mean, this is a great new life that you've
It
chartered.
it is. And it's a shift in mindset. My faith life has gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I mean, that's being able to open up and deal with some things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I will tell you this, when we first had that call, there was a part of me, Mo, that had that little bit of skepticism going on
Mm-hmm.
that if the Maria who had that phone call with you, if she were to see me today, she would not recognize me.
Yeah.
She would, I say she wouldn't. She would look at me and go, it's the mature version of 21-year-old Maria.
Uh,
It's the Maria that's willing to take chances,
uh-huh.
measure the right chances, but she's the one willing to take chances. She's
Yeah.
not shrunk anymore. Her shoulders are back. She's
Yeah.
happy,
Yeah.
and I mean, I swear I look younger,
You do. I was going to
you know.
say that I didn't want to sound like we were all, but I mean, to me, totally, you look younger. Your eyes are more radiant. You're just happier. You're more grounded. You're in your space,
Yes.
unapologetic, but not brashly unapologetic. You're
No.
just in your space of who you are and what you're all about in a very pleasing, wonderful, shiny soul way. I mean, it's just lovely to see you like this.
Thank you. And I want other women to feel that way. I want other men to feel that way. Everybody
Yes.
should be able to feel
Right.
comfortable
Yes.
in the room and take up space
Yeah.
because, there's that whole theory of abundance versus theory of lack. And the
Hmm.
reality is this, there's plenty enough space for everybody
Amen.
and there's enough seats at the table.
Yep.
And it's time that everybody gets an invitation.
Hmm.
And
Amen.
not only should they have the invitation, they should have the same experience that is catered to them.
Hmm.
So by me getting myself in alignment,
Hmm.
I can create space for others to feel comfortable too.
Amen. And I know you are out and about in your job. You go to
Mhm.
places where your company
Mhm.
has business and you're able to be present for people who
Mhm.
might be directly on your team or indirectly part of your team and
Right.
organization. How different does that feel for you?
It's so I'm gonna brag on my employer. The culture is just so inclusive and so comfortable and my God, it's fun. You know,
Ah,
if and if you're a leader and you want to know what your culture really is, ask people on Sunday night how they feel. What are what are your minds and stomachs
right,
like on Sunday night?
right.
There's your culture,
Yeah,
you know.
right.
And so I Sunday nights, it's okay, cool. I get to go to work on Monday
Yeah,
morning.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's not. It's I'm happy.
yeah.
And is everything perfect? No. There's going to be things that come up,
Mm-hmm.
but the things that come up are not going to dishonor who Maria is.
Right,
They're not, Maria is not going to allow
right.
pieces of who she is
Yes,
to be sacrificed.
yes,
Mm-mm, no,
right.
no, there is a line there that nobody crosses, including me
Yeah,
and especially me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you don't have to have that moral battleground anymore.
No, no. Or
That's
the
the
mental battleground.
right. That's the beautiful thing. So when you're not fighting all day with yourself
Yes.
or with the culture or trying to get things done in your company and you're against the stream, I'm sure that you've just been contributing in all sorts of wonderful ways to your company. I'm sure they're delighted to have you on their team. We talked a little bit about how perhaps that past version of Maria might not recognize you today. But what would you say to her from the version of today? What would you say to her now?
Oh, lean into your coaching. Suspend your disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
Do the work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you will be so glad that you did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the life on this side of things, so much better.
So good.
So much better.
Wow.
So
I'm just sort of like sitting in the reality of what your family must be feeling, seeing you like this versus the burnt out on the edge of, you know, tolerating life version of you, which was less than a year ago.
um so I in the middle of right after I finished I graduated from our course. About a month and a half later, my mom came down with her second bout of breast cancer.
Oh,
No, it's all good because early detection saves lives. Ladies, if you're listening, early detection saves lives. Okay,
mm, mm.
that one was free again. Second one, no charge right now.
If we do a
Um,
third one, we may have to charge for this interview.
but I was able to be fully present for her in some of her treatment. I was able to be there when she had surgery. I was able to help my parents. Have some funny stories with that. My parents have been married for 51 years. They're an amazing couple. Um, and I'm an only child. So
uh,
I was able to be there for my
yeah,
family
yeah.
in a way and still be able to be there for my job and be there for my kids in a way that honored all three, and I don't know that I would have been the Maria of a year ago would not have been able to navigate that effectively.
No, right.
The Maria now is able to go, all right, here's how we deal with this next phase.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how this does and doesn't impact me. Here's what I
Mm-hmm.
need to do to show up for my family.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I didn't realize how deep I was into needing help until I got on the other side of the
Mm,
coaching program.
mm,
And that I don't think I'm alone in probably feeling that way.
yeah. You know, oh gosh, so many women have said similar stories to me, and I don't know. You weren't a grad at this point. One of our gals, her son attempted suicide, and she had to be with him literally like a month in the hospital while he was recovering physically. And she said, "There's no way I could have maintained my job, my new job. She was a newly vice president, and do this and honor it all." So same type of story. I'm gonna uncover why that was possible for you. And
Mm-hmm.
this one goes out not only to you and your success, Maria, but every woman who thinks that life can't be better. The difference is when you're depleted, you take everything personally and you're a victim of life. When you're filled up and when you're playing with your full soul vibrational truth, you are making choices.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a world of different. One, you have your divine creator with you to make it all possible. And the other, you're just a victim who life is happening to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so much different when you are coming from that place of being filled up and you can serve everyone who really needs you at the time. And it's not like the
Right.
entire millions of people in the world have to need you. It's mom, dad, husband, kids, job. I got this. Do they all
Mm-hmm.
get everything that they would get if my mom wasn't in the hospital? Nope. But We understand that. We're cool. So it's such a beautiful transformation, and it's so great to talk to you and hear this and watch you and just see your energy today and know what you did to become this version of you. It wasn't impossible to do, but it took some doing, and it took following some structure to get there, because willy-nilly doesn't work.
No,
But wow, to see who you are today is just putting a huge smile on my face, I'll tell you that.
it was worth every second of the career call. It was worth every second of the coaching, really leaning in and doing the work, because it definitively changed who I was
Mm-hmm.
in how I deal and how I show up. Um, and you would probably think, oh, well, I bet she never wants to go back to where she was mentally, physically. Absolutely not. I never want to go there again, but I never will go there again,
Right.
because I have the tools
Yes.
to make sure that I don't.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Oh, so great to see you. Anything that you haven't said or shared that you want to say before?
Only thing I would say is, if you are a woman or man, you're thinking about making that clarity call, book the call, because if you're thinking about making the call, you recognize
Mm.
that something has to change. And if what you were doing was working for you, you wouldn't be thinking you needed the call to begin with. I mean, let's just be real. So do yourself a favor, book the call, lean into the coaching, and change your life,
Yeah.
because you don't have to live this way anymore.
Mm.
You can
Amen.
make the choice to change how the story goes.
Yes. And what a different story you have created for you and your life. And so many decades left to live as a
Yes.
professional woman with so much in front of you. This version of Maria is sustainable at lots of levels. So good.
Yes. Yes.
So good. And so
So
much joy and happiness for your kids, and big hugs to your husband, and just really relishing where your family is today and what you're all about. And as we're right now sort of looking at the rest of the years type of thing, and the holidays, and how much deeper presence there will be from their mom this year. Really
yes.
great.
Yes.
Really
We
great.
get to be there and get to show up. Thank you for all you did for me, Mo. I appreciate
Oh,
it. Thank you so
you are
much.
so welcome. It's a pleasure to see you today and to have watched you grow and land that great job while we're working together. Folks, you can take Maria's words for heart. She is the real deal. mofall.com/talk is the place to book that complimentary career clarity call. And we'll do just what we did with Maria, and that is talk about what's going on and what's not working, and then what's on your heart to grow into. And if we can help you close that gap, we absolutely will show you the proven path that Maria took, and so many other women. And we are delighted to lift the world up one woman at a time. And your company, Maria, has just so much energy and shine coming from you for their future. So again, bravo to you and your organization that you're now a leader in, and just keep on bringing your soul to work. You are an amazing, marvelous woman.
Thank you so much. Have a great one, Mo.
All right. See you folks next time. This is Coach Mo Live, mofall.com, and everywhere on social media. We'll see you again.